Hey there, Scorpios. Welcome to your September reading. And I know everybody's been waiting for this Scorpio reading. I had a couple comments. Scorpio, please. Okay, so here you are. Scorpios, I hope you're enjoying the full moon in Pisces. It certainly has been full on. And if you're sun, moon, or rising, or maybe you have Venus in Scorpio or Mars in Scorpio, or maybe you don't have any of those, you just feel like watching the video, and that is totally fine too. Okay, so we're gonna go in and find out what is the energy for you around right now, and then also going forward into the next 4 weeks or so. Okay, so let's take a deep breath. Spirits, angels, and guides, please connect me to the energy of my Scorpios who come here today seeking your guidance. Thank you for allowing me to be the medium in the channel between yourself and Scorpio. Okay, so let's go ahead and find out what's on tap. Spirit, show us what's on tap for Scorpio coming up into the next month. What energy is presently with them as well. Okay. Ooh. Oh, there's the 8 of Cups. So we're just going to put that up there for now. Let's go ahead and see what's going on with my Scorpios right now. What's going on with my Scorpios right now? What's going on? Okay. No sloppy. There it is. I always have to feel the cards click into place. Okay, so this is house 1, house 2, house 3, house 4, and what I'm doing is astrological wheel for your September forecast. Okay, and I'll go into what all these are in a little bit here. We have the 5th house, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. We always need a little more room when we get to the top here. We have the 9th house, the 10th house, the 11th house, and the 12th house. Okay, and on the bottom of the deck is the 3 of Pentacles, and you guys coming from a space. So on the bottom of the deck represents the energy that you guys are coming from, or the last month that you've had. And there's been some serious contemplation about where you should put your energy, is what I feel. And some of you have been burning the midnight oil, or you've been burning both ends of the candle, working very hard, trying to understand what's happening around you. But I also feel like some of you have trying to understand the environment around you and what other people are telling you. But I also feel like some of you are sick and tired of something in your life right now. And it's like, you again, okay? And we all know the Scorpio stare down when you guys are not feeling something, okay? And I do think there's been something bubbling inside of you, okay? Bubbling up inside of you. And I do feel like you've just been tolerating something recently, okay? And you're just feeling, I feel like you guys are coming from a place of having expended a lot of energy, but not really wanting to talk about it. And some of you might have said, I don't want to talk about it, or I'm not in the mood to talk about this today, or I don't feel like, I don't feel like sharing what's going on with me. Okay, so that's, very typical Scorpio type behavior anyway. But I feel like, people can tell that there's something maybe a little bit off with you, or that there's something that is upsetting you. And this could be in your work environment. It could be at home. We'll find out more as we get into your chart. But I can see with the 8 of Cups here, some of you are thinking of moving on for something more, and are thinking of all that you can become. Okay, and you can see the dolphin coming up next to her here. And I feel like it's almost like my work here is done now. And it's like when you finish something, but then somebody asks you to keep working on it or keep doing it, but you already did it. Do you know what I'm saying, Scorpio? So I feel like some of you are ready to wander off onto something else and are going to look for something more for yourself, okay? Because the 8 of Cups is all about going for the more, going after the more. It's not just about walking away or leaving something. In tarot, it is the Lord of abandoned success. So I can see with the Three of Pentacles is a very successful type of a card, okay? And it is the Lord of material works, and it represents Mars in Capricorn, which is very determined type energy, okay? So, you know, there could be this thing of I can't hide it anymore. I can't hide my feelings about something anymore. I want to move in a different direction, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and see. We have the Hangman. Wow, alrighty then. For your first house, I'm just gonna go through and then we're gonna get after it. The Knight of Wands in your second house of money. We have the Nine of Pentacles in your third house of communication. We have the Ten of Cups in your fourth house of family, okay? We have the Seven of Pentacles in your fifth house of children and pleasure. We have the Chariot in your sixth house of sickness and stress, okay? We have the Six of Wands in your seventh house of partnerships. Ooh, we have the King of Wands in your eighth house. Okay, I like that. I like that. We'll talk about what that means. We have I see what's going on with you guys. We have the Four of Pentacles in your ninth house of dreams and visions and philosophy, higher education, learning, travel, etc. Okay. Whoo, I see what's going on. We'll see. We have in your 10th house. Oh yeah. In your 10th house of career, we have the Nine of Swords. Whoo, this shit is harder than it looks, all right, is what I feel like you guys are saying when it comes to your work, okay? And also your 10th house is your reputation, and it is the highest point in your chart. So anything at there is going to be very visible, okay? So I think in last month, if you were able just to put up with people's, it's like somebody told you something and you heard them the first time and you're like, yeah, I got it. You know, like I'm on top of it, or I got it, or like, leave me alone. I know what I'm doing. Okay. And, but I feel like some of you are wanting to move on to something different when it comes to your work, because some of you could be working in jobs or working in positions or doing things that are below your skill level, or it's time for you to level up on something, but there is nervous energy around it is what I feel, okay? But you can't lie to your feelings at the same time. That I think you are ready to move on from something. But with Hanged Man in the first position here, it's like we're hanging on for dear life because we're not quite sure yet. We know that where we were before, like I feel you guys have already mastered some lesson, or you've already mastered something. And so now we're kind of like at this, you know, point where we're teeter-tottering a little bit, or we're in limbo, because we know that there are certain decisions that need to be made, but it kind of feels like maybe a little bit of avoidance going on. But we're going to see what else we find here. In the 11th house, in your 11th house, we have the Knight of Cups. The 11th house is the house of your hopes, your wishes, your desires, and also friendship too. So that's good. I like that for you guys. That's interesting. Somebody coming to help you guys and make you feel better and, you know, gas you up a little bit and help you to feel more comfortable with where you are in your life right now. Ooh, and we have the Star card in the 12th house, okay? And what's so funny is that someone's bringing you a cup or someone, you know, the Knight of Cups in your 11th house could be a friend, okay? And the Knight of Cups in the tarot is a Scorpio, okay? Knight of Cups represents Scorpio in the tarot. So you guys could have another Scorpio or another water sign, or just, you know, this sense of, I think I know what I want, but it's also really stressing me out. And you know what's really funny, Scorpios, is I see a friend or someone coming to, like, you know, give you some encouragement, to give you some love, to give you some affection. And here you guys are in your 12th house of self-undoing, pouring out the water that they just gave you. And you're like, no, I don't want to be made to feel better. I just need to work this out in myself first, is kind of what I'm feeling here between you and this person, or within yourself, okay? And maybe I feel like with the Hangman too, some of you do need a pause, but you're not allowing yourself to have that pause, and you're not allowing yourself to have that time for self-reflection, okay? But this is a month coming up where I feel like, you know, if you are, for those of you that are in a pause, but you are afraid to take the next step and you've already been in a pause, I feel like this is a time where we really have to do some soul searching with the Hangman here on where and what it is that you want to, where you want to go next and what you want to do next, okay? And the 12th house, so the interesting thing about the 12th house in your astro wheel here is the 12th house is the house of your self-undoing. It's also the house of your hidden enemies. Some of you could have an Aquarius that you know has been really bothering you, but I'm feeling this more as the house of your self-undoing, which means that so with the Star card, we have this aspect of needing to reflect, okay? Reflect on where we're at. We're needing to ready ourselves for the next part of the journey, okay? And we may not be allowing ourselves here with the Star card in your 12th house to really feel our feelings, or to really release something, is also what I'm seeing here too. Because the Star card, the Hebrew letter is Zadi, and it means fish hook. And the fish hook comes, you know, is hooking into something. So there might be this resistance to letting go of something here too, okay? But we're gonna get deeper into what that may be, and that certainly fits with the Eight of Cups. But I also feel like Spirit's popping through in this deck. Normally there's not a dolphin in the Eight of Cups, okay? But I feel like Spirit's popping up in your reading to say, Scorpio, it's gonna be okay, all right? As Bob Marley would say, everything's gonna be all right, okay? And I think that was Bob Marley, right? Everything's gonna be all right, but everything's gonna be okay. And to like dream bigger, and to take some time for yourself if you need, but you won't be in that place forever. If it also, because I feel like some of you are like, yeah, I do need to take some time with the Hangman here. I do need to do some soul searching. I do need to figure out what I want. But it's also stressing me out with the Nine of Swords in your 10th house, because I feel like I need to do something, or I feel like I need to make a decision here. And I'm with the Star card in your 12th house, I'm not really allowing myself the space and the time and the distance in order to do that, okay? And I feel like there's just certain things you don't want to do anymore either, okay? And some of you could be looking for work as well, or you could be in between jobs, or you could have like an interview coming up or something like that as well, and you're really worried about how that's gonna go. Or some of you may have like a talk to give, or you may have, and I feel like the people around you with the Knight of Cups are encouraging you and are like, go Scorpio, go, you know? And I also feel like some of you could have a friend who's like, it's not that bad, everything's gonna be fine, okay? And I also feel like your higher self is telling yourself that too. And but with the Nine of Swords here, there is a feeling of overwhelm, okay? A feeling of overwhelm. And for some of you, like I said, maybe you're really not letting yourself rest, okay? Also, I feel like some of you may not be sharing with people exactly how hard it's been or how tough it's been, because I'm seeing this Four of Pentacles in your ninth house of dreams and visions, and what is actually fueling the 10th house, okay? And I can see you guys are not really, I feel like you're stressing about the future, Scorpio, okay? And I'm going to get to all the other areas of your chart too, like romance, etc. But I just have to tackle this first, because in astrology, as my teacher always says, go for the jugular, you know, go for go for the jugular first, and then after that, sort everything out. So when I'm going for the jugular in your reading, it's this Nine of Swords in your 10th house, okay? Because everything else looks fairly decent, okay? With the Star card in your 12th house, you need some time to sort yourself out. You know, and I also am getting this sense of some of you like picking at yourself, or like criticizing or picking at yourself, okay? Or throwing your hands up and being like, this stinks, you know, or this work stinks, or what these people are telling me stinks, and just kind of, and I'm also seeing a representative of a skunk, okay? And you know, it's interesting because in my animal deck, I think there is a skunk in here, and maybe some of you like smelled a skunk smell recently or something, but I believe what it says on the animal oracle for the skunk card, oh, there's the dolphin. This and that are true. Wow. Okay, well, you guys already have the dolphin in your reading, so I'm going to put the dolphin right there. But the skunk, I believe the skunk card says know your worth in this deck, okay? So if you're like picking at yourself and, you know, being hard on yourself or picking on yourself, I feel like that's something for you guys to go easier on yourself. And we can see that with the dolphin, right? And I love the dolphin because, of course, dolphins are in the water, and the Hangman in the tarot represents this, you know, the spirit of the mighty waters, and represents basically the element of water and the element of Neptune, okay? And sometimes with the Hangman, we start to realize that there's multiple perspectives, and that many things are actually true, and we're starting to see ourselves in a new light. And it is a very spiritual card. And you know, and also I love the version of this Hangman, because this Hangman's truly suspended in the air, and it looks like, you know, doesn't look anywhere near the ground. This Hangman is truly suspended in the air. However, I think you guys don't want to be left wondering, okay? And some of you could have job applications out there, because I'm looking at the aspect between your first house and your 10th house here, okay? And it's a rough one. And, you know, I'm looking at the contact here between your first and your 10th, your first representing you and your environment, okay? And with the Hangman here, I feel like you guys are trying to go with the flow, and you are trying to, you know, see things from a different perspective, and you are trying to be optimistic. But I think, you know, it's interesting. This looks like a raven skunk. It's the biggest raven I've ever seen. It looks like a raven crossed with a skunk, okay? But anyway, I feel like, you know, the raven's beak is pointing at the pentacle. So it's all about the Benjamins, Scorpio. But it's also all about, you know, I think some of you are wondering, should I just look at this situation? Because I think some of you with the Three of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck were getting really, really annoyed with this situation. But with the Six of Cups underneath it, you didn't maybe want to say anything because you didn't want to hurt, you know, you didn't want to stir up trouble, or you didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, or because I feel like some of you could have been, this is specific, okay, but some of you could have been working for a friend, or working for someone that was a friend, or helping out in helping someone else out. But I feel like you guys got stuck doing it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you were helping someone out. It could be a friend too. You were helping someone out, but you got stuck in it, and then it became fairly burdensome to you, okay? So I feel like with the Queen of Swords underneath the Six of Cups, you guys have been wanting to say something, okay? And it could be a Virgo here because I'm seeing the Hermit, okay? And I do think there is someone that is a little bit afraid of what you might say, and I think they've been avoiding you, Scorpio, okay? For some of you, it could be a boss because you need to have a talk with them, and you really want them to hear you out, and you really want them to hear where you're coming from, okay? The Queen of Swords in the tarot is a Libra, so some of you could have Libra or Virgo in your charts as well, but something needs to be done here because you've been waiting long enough with the Two of Swords, and it's time to bring to light, we have Justice and the Devil, a situation that hasn't been working, okay? So I can see what's going on behind this Three of Pentacles and what was going on in the past. And, you know, with the Hangman here, I think you guys have a lot of thoughts that are going on, and maybe sometimes you feel like other people are picking at you, or other people are just picking at you, or I also feel like some of you are waiting for money, and you want that money today, not tomorrow. You want it today. And it feels like maybe there's a threat of somebody taking that, okay, is also what I'm getting for some of you too, okay? And the Knight of Wands is in your second house of money. So the Knight of Wands in the tarot is a Leo, so there may be a Leo, or maybe some of you also have Leo in your chart, but there may be a Leo that is influencing your finances at this time. And I feel like you're trying to tell yourself, okay, don't worry, everything's gonna be okay, that type of thing. But, you know, when we have the Knight of Wands in your second house, it's like, I feel you guys have a really determined, you know, if somebody's trying to stiff you, or if somebody hasn't been paying you enough, or if somebody has been, you know, like, I feel like your finances are getting turbocharged, okay? And I feel like some of you are saying, I won't take no for an answer, okay? This person is going to listen to me, and I will not take no for an answer. Okay, and with the Knight of Wands in your second house of money, like I said, your money is super turbo charged, okay? And however, you with the Hangman are maybe waiting on somebody to come through for you, okay? So that's a very interesting thing. And I'm also getting something else too. For you Scorpios that have kids that are waiting for, you know, someone to put money in your account, or someone has to pay you child support. I mean, I feel like with the Knight of Wands in your second house, it's like you demanding and saying, I need that money now. You know what I mean? And the Knight of Wands represents the airy part of fire. So what does air do to fire? It just makes it go crazy, right? So some of you may be having a fight with someone about money too, because they're always showing up with the check at the last minute, or because they're always, you know, questioning what you're doing with your money. Or for those of you Scorpios that have children and you're getting child support or some type of a support, I feel like you need that money today, not tomorrow, okay? And yeah, so that's a highly charged area of your chart as well with this Knight of Wands, okay? And for those of you that do, okay, I just have to say this for a second, because the 8th house with the King of Wands here is the house of your partner's money. Okay, so you're coming through as the Knight of Wands. This person is coming through as the King of Wands. So, you know, I feel like there's a bit of a power imbalance for those of you that are in partnerships. You know, I feel like you guys don't want to, if people are being rude to you about your finances, or they're suggesting that you don't work hard for what you have in life, I feel like that's a way to piss you off real quick at this time. And if somebody is attempting to hold resources from you, or attempting to, you know, for some of you, if someone's attempting to, what's the word that we say when people incite other people? Like when people, you know, it's like that word, like, I got your goat, or you get triggered, okay? Or somebody may be trying to trigger you. For those of you that have a partner that owes you money, or a partner that is supposed to be giving you some money, I feel like, you know, your attitude is, I can wait. You know what? I'm going to your front doorstep and I could wait forever for this money because I need it. So I'm putting my hand out and I'm not leaving it until you freaking give it to me. Okay. And because it's owed to you, I feel like, all right. So some of you, I feel like, are just demanding what is, you know, what's yours. Okay. And also another thing I'm getting here is, if somebody tries to insist that, you know, it's the principle of the matter, Scorpio, because I think you guys are very independent and fiery and ambitious when it comes to your own money, okay? And you don't want to be, you're very independent and you don't want to be dependent on other people, and you don't want to be insulted either. However, it's the principle of the, here's my view on it, Scorpio. It's the principle of the matter. If somebody owes you money, or somebody owes you, a partner owes you alimony or child support or something, then they need to pay it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm getting this fiery energy in your money. And you guys are ambitious when it comes to your money, but you're also independent. And I have to take a drink of water, and you really don't want... you guys are laser focused, and I love this horse here because he's got those piercing Scorpio eyes. And it's like, if you think that you're going to hide out from me, if you think that you're going to hold out on me, I will come and, you know, get it, okay? So I am seeing that for some of you here too. Now, what's interesting here is with the Four of Pentacles in your 9th house, if some of you have been taking classes or going to school or doing things like that, I feel like some of you are like, that's enough. I don't want to keep paying money for this. It doesn't seem like it's worth it. Also, I feel like some of you are not really wanting to tell other people about what is going on when it comes to your money, your plans, your goals, your dreams. I think you're keeping them very close to your chest right now, okay? And, you know, interestingly, in your 3rd house of communication, we have the 9 of Pentacles, which is the Lord of material wealth. So I would just be careful. You know, I feel like here's something that's going on, all right? Because I feel like, you know, your perception that you're showing to people, or that you're communicating to people, is that I'm good, I have enough, I'm fine, I know how to take care of myself, I'm an independent person. And you very much are. And you know, the way you come across to people is, you know, very luscious and classy and all these kinds of things, okay? But I also feel like some of you could be a little bit hyped up with the Knight of Wands in your 2nd house about money at this time, okay? And I would just say, if you're trying to convince people around you, or let's say maybe some of you have done that in the past, Scorpio, like you've wanted to make it look like you're doing fine and everything's great, but really on the inside, you're worried, or really on the inside, you're more panicked maybe than you would let on, okay? And I feel like right now, Scorpio, it's important for you to have people in your life that you can trust and that you can talk to when things are not going well. You know what I mean? Because I think if you hide it and hold it all in, I feel like it becomes heavy, you know, it becomes real heavy on the soul. All right. One really high point I am seeing here for you is your fourth house, okay? And your fourth house of family. This is the deepest part of your chart. It represents midnight in your chart, okay? And actually, you know, when you get home and when you're, maybe some of you are up later at night and you're snuggling with your sweetie, or you're watching movies, or you're spending some family time, or you're getting to spend some time on a retreat, or you're getting to spend some time with family. And family means a lot of different things to different people. It could be friends, family, whoever. But with the Ten of Cups in your fourth house, I feel like, you know, I feel like you can almost touch the dream. I feel like you can really experience a sense of peace, pride, calmness, happiness, all right? And for some of you that have kids as well, with the Seven of Pentacles in your fifth house, okay? The fifth house being the house of children. They may think, like, whether you're a man or a woman or whoever watching this, they may be thinking, you know, mom and dad wants me to be perfect and to not cause any problems and be perfect, but I feel like I'm struggling with something, okay? So some of you with the Seven of Pentacles in your fifth house could have a child that is really trying to please you, okay? Like really trying to please you, or really trying to come off like they have everything together, but at the same time, I feel like might be having trouble in school or feeling like a failure. Okay, so just so you know that, because I feel like there's this whole thing here with this dolphin energy of this and that are true. It's like, true, I'm good at this with the Three of Pentacles. True, I come across as being like this very generous, outgoing, supportive, and blessed person, and maybe even financially wealthy person. And I come off, some of you may be entrepreneurs with the Knight of Wands in your second house. I come off like a hustler to people, but there's also a side of me that is, Spirit's giving me the word burned, a side of me that's also burned from all the pain and the struggle that we go through in life, okay? And also, I feel like there's a side of you that actually does get nervous or worried at times with the Nine of Swords in your 10th house, and part of you that doesn't really want to share with people your goals and your dreams. And there may be a part of you that also, because you're nervous or because you're on a deep level, you're wondering, could I really do this? So you're kind of holding yourself back a little bit. Although when people see you and interact with you, they're not perceiving you that way. Do you know what I'm saying? So this is very interesting with the this and that are true, right? There's a part of you that is very independent, that is very maybe entrepreneurial with the Knight of Wands in your second house, or maybe sometimes likes to gamble or maybe take a risk, you know, with money. There may be a side of you that is like that, okay? But there may also be a side of you that gets nervous or overthinks things, or especially for my Scorpios that have Virgo in your charts too, okay? Because I was picking up on that Virgo energy earlier, that, you know, both of these sides of your personality are true. You know what I'm saying? Both your fiery, independent, you know, entrepreneurial, charge ahead side, your determination, all of these things are true. But then there's also a part of you that worries that maybe you're not good enough for what you want to do, okay? So the dolphin energy comes to us when we really need more magic in our life, when we need more sweetness in our life, and when we need to kind of like hold a healing space for ourselves so that we can clean out some emotions. you know, and with the Star card in your 12th house, the Star card is really a place where we can go deep within ourselves and find those emotions and pull them out and examine them to see how we truly feel about something, right? And maybe some of you are avoiding that a little bit, okay? And I want to talk about partners for a second here, because for those of you that are dating, engaged, I was going to say hung, for those of you that are hung, dating, engaged, whatever you are, Scorpios, I feel like hung up on someone, they're hung, you know, or just hung in general, because the King of Wands is very hung, hearty, har, ha, ha, right, Scorpios? But for those of you, and this King of Wands in particular has a real come here, baby, kind of look to him, okay? Out of all the King of Wands, this one is like the most sleazy looking, okay? This is a lot of fire in your partner's house, 7th house here. Actually, it's your 7th house, but your partner is showing up here as a 6 of Wands. So whether you're dating someone, whether you're just talking to someone, whether this is a person that you've been with for a while, it looks like coming up, this person is going to be, you know, hotly pursuing you with the 6 of Wands, and they're confident that they can make things happen, okay? This could be a very fiery person. This could be a Leo, because this is a Leo card. We also have the King of Wands in your 8th house of your partner's money, which says that they're confident. You know, with the King of Wands and the 6 of Wands, it's a pretty arrogant combination too. And for some of you, you may be decided, because the Hangman's very humble type energy. So some of you may be deciding that you really don't want to be with super arrogant people anymore that, you know, think that constantly are acting like hot shit all the time, okay? Also, I could see you guys getting pursued by a very confident lover. However, this lover also needs to be emotionally mature. They also need to be kind. They need to have a lot more qualities just besides being hot, okay? And I feel like some of you have been soul searching on that, because the Hangman is more of a wait and see type of an energy, okay? The Hangman also invites us to accept the things. You guys know the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, and have courage for the things I can change, and the wisdom to know the difference. That always reminds me of the Hangman. And you know, it's water energy. It's very, very deep spiritual water energy, with a lot on your mind as well here too. Okay, a lot on your mind as well. And this person coming through for you guys, they don't have as much on their mind. They see the target and they want the target. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm salivating. I'm looking at my Scorpio and I'm salivating and licking my lips, and I can see right through, you know, right through the looking glass, and I can see my bullseye target, and it's Scorpio, okay? And, you know, I mean, I feel like you guys are like, well, you know, there's a part of you that emotionally can still go there, I feel like, but also I think you guys have been thinking really deeply about what it is that I feel some of you are changing on a very deep level, and some of you may be becoming a lot more sensitive than normal, than you've normally been, okay? And the 8 of Cups can also be where we are feeling kind of lost, okay? And I'm also seeing with the 10 of Cups in your house of family, in your 4th house, as also like, you know, things being good or things being nice, but wondering, is it gonna last, okay? And some of you may get you may struggle with anxiety, or you may wonder, like, is this gonna about certain good things in your life, you may wonder, is this gonna last? Okay. And yeah. So interesting about the partner. So I feel like for those of you that are wanting somebody to come close to you, to come near to you, okay, but I'm also seeing the qualities of this person. They can be very nice and complimentary at times, but I also think at times they may be a little bit arrogant. I just have to say, a little bit prideful or a little bit arrogant. And I also think that they think they're the shit when it comes to their money or their plans or, what it is that they want to do, okay? So that's very interesting to me. Let me go ahead and see here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. It's interesting with your partner because I think they're at a real stopping place when it comes to what they want as well. And they may feel like they're the king of the castle in some area of their life but I also feel like this person is a bit of a renegade, and that within they always feel like the job is never done, and they always feel like they can't stop. And if they stop, then they feel like a failure, okay? And I'm reading that from derived houses, from your partner's 12th house and 11th house, okay? The 11th house and 12th house from the house of your partner. All right, so I'm not just getting that from nowhere. I mean, the reason I'm telling you is because of that, is because I'm what I'm seeing with that, all right? And that's another instance of this and that are true, because when we reach the top tier or the top level, and also this person could be an entrepreneur, Scorpio, and they could be somebody that is really loves a challenge, okay? And this could be somebody coming into your life, okay? Yeah, this could be somebody that's, okay, I'm getting a message of somebody who maybe it's like, okay, they come into my life, but this is a person who runs sometimes, or this is a person who has a hard time sitting still, or this is a person, because if they sit still, they feel like, they're losing out or they're not getting ahead. This could be a very ambitious person, with the 6 of Wands representing your partner, and then the King of Wands in the house of your partner's money, okay? So this could be a person who is, like I said, very ambitious, thinks they're the creme de la creme. This could be a person who likes gold, or wears gold, or has a gold chain, or has a gold watch, or something like that. Like, this is somebody who is also very sexual and may be used to getting what they want sexually because of their money. Do you see what I'm saying? I actually feel like this person, this could be a person who wants to be like the leader of the household, or they want to be the one in charge, and they are used to, getting things from people or getting things from women or men, if you're a man watching, you know what I mean? It depends on your gender and what you like. But this is a person who's used to getting what they want sexually, I feel like, from people, because of their status or who they know or what they know or the money that they have, okay? Or, they just act like they have it and they've got that whole attitude about them, okay? So this is the type of person that could be around you right now, Scorpio, or coming in. And I mean, don't get me wrong, this person is impressive, I feel like. However, your energy is coming through a little bit different. Your energy is coming through, and here's what I'm saying, Scorpio. I don't want this person to make you feel small in any way, okay? And I feel like for some of you, I may be describing an ex or a genre of person. You guys see I'm doing the quotations here. A typical genre of a person that you normally attract. I mean, for some of you, it could remind you of your father, who also, Well, anyway, for some of you, you might have had a father that was a good father, but also was a cheater or something like that, okay? Or a father that was like that. But anyway, what I'm seeing, Scorpio, is you really taking a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, go on and on look at what it is that truly lights you up. What is it that truly feels satisfying to your soul? What it is. I mean, also, I feel like you guys, you know, for Scorpios, I feel like with the Hangman in your first house, you can be kind of laid back, or there can be moments when you're laid back at times. I don't think you're laid back when it comes to your money, okay? I don't think so. With the Knight of Wands in your second house, okay? And maybe you were in the past. Also, with the Knight of Wands in your second house, I would just be sure not to spend money foolishly or to make, you know, quick purchases that add up to a lot of money that you don't really think about, and then you're like, oh shit, you know? So I would just be careful of that too, not to go hog wild. And if some of you are going to the casino or whatever, I mean, I would just be a little careful with that, because the Knight of Wands, if anyone could be like a gambler, okay, I would say a gambler could either be the King of Wands, which is represented by your partner's money, or the Knight of Wands, which is represented by your money. So hopefully, I mean, some people know how to gamble within reason, and not just gambling, but investments and all types of ways that we quote unquote gamble with our money. Both you and this person could be entrepreneurs, but I also think you just don't know where to go with yourself at this point, Scorpio, and something feels unsatisfying with the Eight of Cups at the center of your reading. And it's like, while you at one point enjoy certain things about this person, there's also things about this person that remind you of the past. And you know what's interesting is the Eight of Cups in the tarot is the Lord of Abandoned Success. So this means we have all these cups stacked up perfectly and they look great, but we're just not feeling it. We've just grown out of something. We need to go in search of the Nine of Cups. You know what I'm saying? And I think coming up in the next month, I think when it comes to like spending quality time with the people you care about, I think when it comes to feeling nice and comfy at home, I'm also seeing 3 friends here getting together. There could be, you know, and it's not like it has to be a big trip or you need to spend a lot of money, because with the Four of Pentacles in your 9th house of travel, etc., I don't think you guys really want to be spending money, I think, on travel or shit like that. What I think you want to be spending money on is the things that are going to help you get more money. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like with the Nine of Pentacles in your 3rd house of communication, you want to talk money, or you want to appear in a certain way, okay? Or you want to give off the impression that you're going after it, all right? But I like the 10 of Cups in your 4th house. Also, for those of you that are dreaming at night, okay, because the 4th house in our chart represents the deepest point in our chart, and it represents the end of all things, and it represents midnight in our chart. So this is like at night, maybe things are feeling better. Also, I just feel like there is at a core base level this undying belief in yourself that things will be better or things can get better. And I think also just spending some time, for those of you that have good girlfriends, or you have good friends, or you just need to get out or something. But also, you know, with the 7 of Pentacles in your 5th house of pleasure, I also feel like some of you tried to maybe go out with someone, or you tried to get it on with someone, or you tried to go party, or you tried to, you know, go make out with so-and-so, but it just wasn't what you wanted it to be. It wasn't what you thought it was going to be. I feel like some of you are kind of like taking a detour with the 8 of Cups and just saying, you know, what I really need, and who would have thunk, right, for a Scorpio, what I need is some good, wholesome interactions with people who are nice, you know, with the 10 of Cups in your 4th house, okay? And it's like when I'm in I feel like I'm talking for you right now, Scorpio, and saying, when I'm in my own house, I want to feel comfortable, proud of myself, happy with myself. And maybe I don't have the biggest house, maybe I don't have the biggest yard, maybe I don't have, you know, blah, 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 but I know how to love the people around me and appreciate what I have. And that indeed is a very beautiful thing. And I think you have some very beautiful cards here too with the Star card, because even the Star in your 12th house, because the 12th house, like I said, is our self-undoing, or where we can just turn around and shoot ourselves in the foot. And, you know, I feel like the Star card is pretty, it's softer energy, but it's softer energy in your 12th house, but it's also dreams, you know, and the Star card also has to do with dreaming as well, too. And, so that's a very interesting energy, okay? Because the Star card has to do with looking deep into the well of dreams and pulling out what we need in order to enlighten ourselves, okay? And the Star card in the Tree of Life is near the bottom of the tree, so it's maybe not as enlightened as, say, the Fool, which you wouldn't think the Fool is enlightened, but the Fool's at the very top of the tree and closest to God. So you know what I'm saying? Do you guys know that song by 9 Inch Nails, You've Got Me Closer to God? Anyway, that's a sexual song, Scorpio, but but I feel like, you know, the biggest thing for you is allowing yourself to like really be off the clock. Do you know what I'm saying? Where you don't have to project a certain image about yourself, where you don't have to like be anything for anyone else, where you can literally just be you, okay? It's like those moments when we can walk around the house naked, when we get out of the shower and we're just walking around and it's like, God, you know, there's no one around, or it's late at night and you're the only one up in the house, and you know, you're taking a hot bath, or you're just walking around naked or something. You know what I'm saying? It's those types of moments when you can just be like stripped bare and honest and with yourself, okay? And everything about the Star card screams natural. You know what I mean? Letting yourself be natural, letting yourself be in an environment that feels why am I getting sexual images right now, Scorpio? But anyway, I'm getting images of oral. But anyway, letting yourself be in an environment that is very natural and clean and easy and isn't drama. You know what I'm saying? No drama. We don't have time for that, okay? And just allowing yourself to let the mental clutter kind of clear out of your head, okay? And maybe there is a tendency too for you guys when you're alone right now to be like thinking too much, because I'm also getting that message about you guys, you know, thinking too much, okay? With the Hangman in particular can be where we're just like picking at something, like I said earlier, and we're just kind of like thinking too much, okay? So those moments when you can be around friends, or you be around, you know, you can chill, you can watch a movie. I think those moments are going to be like really restorative for you. And with the 7 of Pentacles in your 5th house, I wouldn't spend a lot of money on pleasures, or like going out to the bars, or blowing a bunch of money when you're shopping. I wouldn't really spend a bunch of, you know, your cash doing that as a way to have pleasure, because I don't think you're gonna get enjoyment out of it. And there's nothing worse than like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna buy this and buy that, and then at the end you just feel kind of exhausted, or it doesn't really even make you feel better, or it's just kind of, You know, that's why I'm saying with the 10 of Cups, I think good, wholesome, clean fun is actually going to be the best thing for you now. And I do think with the Hangman rising in your chart upcoming, you want to be really careful of drugs and alcohol and things like that, because I do think you're going to be sensitive, okay? And also with the gambling thing, you know, if you're like, I just have to say, you know, if you're, because I feel like your partner is already overconfident, or, you know, stretching themselves to that point of being almost overconfident. I feel like for you right now, definitely, you know, think before you act, and also think about like what you could enjoy doing that isn't going to, you won't regret the next day, you know, because the 7 of Pentacles in the tarot is the Lord of unfulfilled success, and it represents Saturn and Taurus, which is in your 5th house of pleasure. And that's like saying, you know, it's not really like the normal things that people do for pleasure, like, you know, going, you know, getting wasted and going to Vegas and, you know, all these things that people, oh, wow, like entertainment, all this type of things. I feel like if you guys go and book a show, you might be like, oh, that was a waste of money. I didn't really like that. And maybe you normally like shows. You know what I'm saying? The 7 of Pentacles is a card of being very underwhelmed. I'm very underwhelmed with the entertainment in front of me. And so I think it's going to be better for you guys to like get outdoors or go to a park, maybe go camping, maybe go to the ocean or go down by the river, or, you know, just go have a picnic outside somewhere. Because I think if you try to do like the normal stuff, I think you're going to, you know, like the classical things that people like to do for fun. And some of you Scorpios here, you might be a little bit older and you're like, I don't like that stuff anyway, Natalie. I'm out of that phase anyway. But what I see is a version of you, Scorpio, that is very contemplative and inner focused here with the Hangman, okay? And, you know, when it comes to your money, you're a little off the rails with the Knight of Wands, because the Knight of Wands can definitely be out of pocket and off the rails. So like I said, if you're trying to get out of your head and loosen up, just don't pick things that are going, at the end, you're just going to be, well, I didn't really like that anyway. You know what I'm saying? And some of the more spiritual experiences may actually resonate with you even more. And also, okay, so the only card I really didn't address yet is the Chariot in your 6th house, okay? And the 6th house can represent a place of stress in our chart. It can also, because the ascendant can't see the 6th house, okay? And it's a cadent house and the ascendant can't see it. So it's just not good. You know what I'm saying? From a traditional astrology perspective. All right. But what I think is, here is that you have the Chariot here. So I think if you have any health issues, or if you have had any health issues, I actually think you're going to, I think you're going to conquer them and overcome them. And it is a major arcana card. So wherever we have a major arcana card here, this is a particularly big focus. I feel like some of you are moving on from a health scare and you're actually getting your energy and vitality back, okay? Some of you could be moving on from feeling like shit, or moving on from going through a health scare, okay? And I actually kind of like it that you have the Chariot in your 6th house of stress. However, if you're just getting over something and you're like real excited because you're feeling better and getting over something, I wouldn't press yourself too much, okay? And the Chariot also has to do with always being in motion. So you want to be a little bit careful with that too, that if you are actually starting to feel a little bit better and have more energy and vitality, that you're not overdoing it, okay? So that would be my advice there. But if you have been struggling, I feel like, you know, you're gonna burn through some of that, and it's gonna, you know, you're gonna move past it, I feel, okay? So let's go ahead and see here. Let's go ahead and see. For my Scorpio spirit, can you show me what should Scorpio be focusing on right now? Wow, okay. We have the 8th house, and then we also have Taurus on the bottom of the deck, okay? So some of you could have an interaction with a Taurus. It is your opposite sign, but I also think this Taurus is referring to your 2nd house, okay? So there is something in this, you know, this King of Wands in your 8th house, and right here it's saying this King of Wands in your 8th house of endings and beginnings, okay? And sometimes we can be like so sure of ourselves about someone or about something, and then they really disappoint us. You know what I'm saying, Scorpio? And the 8th house is also, I mean, a lot of astrologers, a lot of people say the 8th house is Scorpio, okay? But if you follow the rules of traditional astrology, there's no sign associated with a house. It's whatever planet rules that house. But for the sake of, you know, not being a complete nerd here, I'll just go with it and say, basically your 8th house is really getting highlighted. And if you have somebody that is trying to, like I said, with the whole money thing, somebody that's trying to, like if your partner or a person you've been with in the past, I mentioned that whole issue about child support, or somebody that owes you money and you're in a rush to pay them back, or they need to pay you, because the 8th house is also a house of debt, you know, and the King of Wands could be a debt collector or somebody who's saying, you know, I need this now. And also, but the feeling I'm get more than anything is somebody who is using their power and sexuality to get someone into bed when it has to do, you know how people do that? People seduce each other with their money. And I mean, also sometimes people put other people down and make them feel small and like that they haven't done enough to get certain things in life. Do you know what I'm saying, Scorpio? And that's where I think this whole this and that are true, is because, you know, it is an accomplishment to do well in life and to do it with integrity and to, you know, achieve. That's a very wonderful thing to do, but also how you treat other people is very important too. You know what I'm saying? And the dolphin energy is like very wise emotionally, okay? And very tender and playful, okay? Without trying to rule over other people and make them do what we want to do. Also, the 8th house is a house of debt, as I said, and with the Knight of Wands in your 2nd house, that could make you wanting to spend a lot or spend money on irrational things or rack up some type of amounts that are due or something like that, okay? So I would just be careful with that, because you have the Knight of Wands in your 2nd house, which is opposite to your 8th house, okay? But the 8th house is also a spiritual house. It is a house of endings and beginnings. So there may be a ending with someone, or there might have been an ending with someone, a particular King of Wands type of a figure, okay? I explained exactly what that was about a few minutes, you know, like 20 minutes ago in your reading. There could be an ending with this person, but then also a beginning with another person that is like that person, okay? Do you know what I'm saying? All right, but I think it's really important to get to know someone independently, so we're not putting labels from the past on someone new, and we're seeing things with fresh eyes. And the Hangman definitely wants to see things with fresh eyes. And I think Spirit is also asking you to see the endings and the beginnings of in your life with fresh eyes, and to kind of reflect on that, okay? So that's pretty deep stuff, Scorpio. And I'm going to go ahead and get a love card for you guys here. And then I'm going to get one more card. And then after this, we're going to take it to your 18 plus extended reading, okay? And we'll get more into the relationship and love stuff in your extended reading. But Spirit, can you show me the love energy for my Scorpios here, okay? Some of you may have an ending. And I mentioned some of you meeting somebody too, okay? So some of you going through endings, some of you going through beginnings, but I'm more inclined to think endings with the 8th house, okay? Because the 8th house is a place where we really have to learn to let go, and it can bring a lot of anxiety. But let's go ahead and see here. And yeah, it's like, I don't want to let go of this dream or this vision, but you know, here you are walking away with the 8 of Cups. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. Spirit, can you show me the love energy here for my Scorpios? Wow, these are all over the place. Can you show me okay, here it is. That's what they want. Okay. Right, and on the bottom of the deck, I always like looking at the bottom of the deck too. It says, when it comes to matters of the heart, there is no right or wrong. Every choice you make expands your understanding of life and love. And that's exactly what the dolphin was saying here. This and that are true, okay? And the hangman really knows how to ponder those, you know, inherent truths about life and the whole scope of unity of all things, you know? It doesn't mean that you shouldn't protect yourself and that you shouldn't watch out for yourself, but, you know, Spirit is saying, and maybe this is where you guys are kind of coming from or where you've been in the past because it's on the bottom of the deck, okay? When it comes to matters of the heart, there is no right or wrong. Every choice you make expands your understanding of life and love. Okay, and maybe you thought that in the past and you're like, well, that attitude got me in a lot of trouble, Natalie, okay? So, you know, sometimes we go too far with that because at some point we do have to have a definitive line about what we're willing to give and accept, okay? But here's your love message, trust. Okay, and could be very hard, especially with the King of Wands in the 8th house. And this King of Wands, particularly in this deck, looks like a little bit of a cheater. And I've actually used this deck a lot in readings, and it's come through many times like that, okay? So I just have to say, you know, with the 8th house here in secrets and trust and all of this stuff, okay? Trust. Transformation occurs through acceptance. Yeah, acceptance is the hangman, okay? Once you accept the current situation, it will automatically transform, okay? Once you accept the current situation as it is, I don't think the situation will automatically transform. Sometimes I disagree with the people that write these. I'm like, I don't really agree with that, Scorpio. I think once you accept a current situation, your view is going to shift, and your perception and your role in it may transform. It's not to say that it will, it may, okay? And that's something that we explore in the archetype of the hangman. We explore, like I said, the serenity prayer. God, give me the courage to accept, you know, what I can't change, and the courage to change what I can change, and the wisdom to know the difference, okay? But that responsibility rests with us, you know, and having an honest assessment of a situation and being able to accept truly where it's at and not hold out for it to be something different than what it actually is, okay? And that's when we're in the 8 of Cups and we're moving on, and those are those moments that we really have to trust ourselves, you know? And I think developing a sense of self-trust is actually one of the most important things that we need to do before we even look at trust as an issue with other people, okay? And I think you guys are exploring that on a deep level with the hangman here, this lesson of acceptance, okay? Honestly, I feel like when it comes to your health, after you accepted certain things about your health, it's like all of a sudden you were able to move on with the Chariot, or all of a sudden things got better. with your health, that may be the case, but with love, I'm just getting a different energy here. It's more about self-trust, okay? In the endings and the beginnings in your life. Okay, when it comes to Scorpio, Spirit, can you show me what is the number one thing that, ooh, all right. Career is on the bottom of the deck. So career is something that you should be focusing on, but I don't think you want to with the 9 of Swords right here, okay? My blessed Scorpios, I think you've tried to focus on your career. You're like, I tried, Natalie, I tried. All it's doing is giving me an ulcer, you know? And maybe at that point, we do need to take a couple steps back and go back to the beginning of why we're doing something. You know what I'm saying? But there is something on the bottom of the deck with career. And I know sometimes we want to avoid something and just stay where we are because, you know, change can be uncomfortable. But I do think you guys are even seeking more when it comes to your work too, okay? We have here forgiveness, but it came out reversed. And I don't even really read reversals. I mean, I do. I know how to, but in general readings, I don't usually. So, you know, you're standing at a precipice, and forgiveness is a very hard issue. It's been a very hard issue for me to deal with too, and especially when it comes to cheaters and liars and users. And it's hard to forget sometimes what, you know, maybe we can forgive, but do we forget? Oftentimes, no. You know what I mean? And sometimes forgiveness just feels like too much, you know? And I'm talking about acceptance, okay? And, you know, there's the 5 stages of grief that we all go through. I don't think forgiveness is one of them. Maybe, I don't know, but acceptance is definitely one of them. Anger, denial, acceptance, bargaining, right? What's the 5th one? Anyway, someone will write it in the comments, but I don't think forgiveness is one of them though. I mean, forgiveness is more, you guys know my view on forgiveness. I feel it's more of a self-forgiveness. And even if you did forgive this person, you may not forget, Scorpio, in some of those scars that we experience in life. You know, have a way of staying with us for a very, very long time. But I do love that she's standing by the water. I do love that she's standing by a waterfall. I do love all the water references here, okay? And maybe it's a new thing for you guys to try forgiveness. Maybe you think it'll make you happier with the 10 of Cups and help you appreciate the simpler things in life, you know? Maybe you think it'll help your health. Maybe you think it will help you spiritually, okay? But I do think that's something that is, and don't beat yourself up over it. You know, it's not gonna happen in one day or in 1 minute or whatever, but I do think there is a cleansing element here for you. There's a spiritual element here for you. And, you know, forgiveness is such a deeply personal thing too, and she's here by herself. You know, that's what I really like about this card, is she's standing here in the water, watching the waterfall, watching the tides change, watching the water change, watching the waterfall, but she's really by herself in that moment. And we see someone here watching the sunrise, which is very beautiful too. Okay, Scorpio. So that is what I am getting for you, my lovelies. I'm going to go ahead and take it to the extended reading, and we're going to get more into your love messages, 18+ messages, etc., okay? So click my Vimeo link below if you'd like to join me there. But with that, Scorpios, thank you so much. I'd love to hear your comments and feedback. Take care, my friends.